All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right. So what I got on screen right here is a video that Apostle Tahar did, and he's going into how Mexico is becoming a cashless society. All right, Mexico is going digital, man. All right, because he's watching another video of this man right here talking about it. All right, so we're living in that time. Even Mexico, man. All right. Now Mexico is becoming digital, is on its way to becoming digital, all digital in a cashless society, man. All these nations around the world, all right, are getting ready to become cashless, man. All right, to usher in that digital ID. This is something that I talk about all the time. I'm always making videos on digital ID, man. All right, all these nations, all these people that sit in high places, your prime ministers, all right, your mayors, all right, your governors, they're all calling for digital ID. Why? Because they're just puppets for the elites, all right, lesser luminaries, you know. All right, everybody's calling for a digital ID because they're pushing that digital ID, that cashless society. All right, so everybody could be used to a cashless society, you know. Get the people condition the people to get used to living in a cashless society, a cashless and digital world, so that when the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, gets ushered in, all right, people, they take it willingly. All right, they have no problem taking it. All right, they just be okay, yeah. All right, not knowing that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man, and they're gonna take it like the brainwashed sheep they are. All right, so we're living in that time, bro. Everybody is. I make videos on it all the time. Everyone's calling for a digital ID, man. All right, in the UK, all right, digital IDs became mandatory. Now you need a digital ID in order to work. And now because of that, you have uproars and uprisings in the UK. And we're going to get into that in a second as well, because I got an article on it that goes into it. All right. But let's get into it. I got right here. So I typed in Mexico to become a cashless society. All right. And what popped up, I'll read a little bit of this. Then I'll get into this article. Right. Is Mexico on the road to a cashless future? Then I'll get into this article right here. All right. Citizens who reject digital ID must pay £85 every time they are asked to prove identity. All right. Yeah, because this is in the UK. All right. Because like I just said, digital IDs he just made digital IDs mandatory. All right. In order to work. All right. So I got right here, Mexico to become a cashless society. It says Mexico is actively progressing toward a cashless society. All these societies are actively progressing toward a cashless society. This is all part of prophecy, man. All right, prophecy of the mark of the beast being brought forth. The mark of the beast being the RFID microchip, man. The mark of the beast is for certain and for surety. All right, the RFID microchip, man. All right, the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, all right, start with Great Millstone and the ones that teach the like doctrine of Great Millstone, all right, because they are the only ones that teach that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. That's the 100% of the truth. That's part of the 100% true doctrine. All right, that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. All right, it says Mexico is actively progressing toward a cashless society driven by technological advancements, government initiatives, and a rapid growing digital payments market. Yeah, all these nations are. All right, if you're paying attention to what's going on. All right, the digital payment landscape in Mexico is expanding significantly with the market value at approximately 1.36 billion US in 2023 and projected to reach 8.65 billion by 2035 if we even make it that far. All right, this growth is fueled by the rise of e-commerce, which saw online sales increase by from about 74 billion in 2023 to over 100 billion in 2024. Real-time payment systems like SPEI, all right, are central to this shift, handling 5.34 billion transactions, totaling MX 219 trillion in 2024, right? So it says key government-backed platforms are being implemented to facilitate this transition. All right, key government-backed platforms are being implemented. All right, to facilitate this transition. All right, Cody, launched in 2019, is a QR code-based digital payment system designed to offer fee-free, and secure alternative to cash, aiming to encourage financial inclusions by helping users open bank accounts. All right, 2023. All right, the Bank of Mexico introduced Daimo. All right, a new real-time payment scheme focused on smartphone-based transactions. Yeah, and you see that all over, bro. Nobody pay. Not too many people pay with cash anymore, bro. People pay with the debit cards, their credit cards, with their phones. Because they got the Cash App, right? They got the Google Pay, right? What's the other one they got? The Apple Pay. It says, and that's to condition the people, man. Aiming to attract 5 million users in its first year. These systems are part of a broader strategy to reduce the country's heavy reliance on cash. It's part of prophecy, bro. It's part of controlled prophecy. All right, which still accounts for 66% of total payments, despite being lower than in previous years. All right. It says the push for a cashless economy is also evident in public services. Mexico City is transitioning its public transportation systems, including the metro bus and cable bus, to cashless models. So everything's becoming digital, man. Even in Mexico, man. All right, and Mexico's president is a so-called Jew, is a small hatter, a 1948er. They put her in there to push it, man. All right, because ever since she's been in there, now you got this. Now you got this. All right, digital ID being pushed harder now, right? It says a move that is expected to enhance efficiency, all right, and improve the experience for the millions of daily commuters, as a anticipated 5.5 million tourists during the 2026 World Cup. All right, so you see how things are going, man. All right, you should watch this video right here that Apostle Tahar did of this man talking about Mexico going digital. It says Mexico to replace cash with digital payments. Mexico's plan for a cashless society and digital ID. All right, I make videos on this all the time. Digital ID is being pushed and spoken about all the time, man. I just did a video not too long ago, man. All right, Keir Starmer, all right, which is the Prime Minister of the UK, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, all right. Keir Starmer, citizens, all right, he says citizens who reject digital ID All right, this is the UK. All right, who reject digital ID must pay £85 every time they're asked to prove identity. All right, because now it's made mandatory. All right, and if you want to work in the UK, you have to have that digital ID. Right. This is to condition the people and to warm up the people for the mark of the beast. All right. But I got this other article. It says right here, is Mexico, right? Is Mexico on the road to a cashless future? All right. It says Mexico is at a pivotal moment in its digital transformation as economies around the world. Yeah, because not just Mexico. All these economies, all these nations around the world are 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 in a digital transformation stage, man. Everything's becoming digital, bro. All right. It says Mexico is at a pivotal moment in its digital transformation as economies around the world increasingly adopt cashless solutions. All right. The country is experiencing a rapid growth in digital payment systems. However, this transition presents significant challenges, particularly due to the enduring role of cash in Mexico's informal economy. All right. It says to better understand these changes, it is important to analyze current trends such as the rise of fintech firms and government initiatives aimed at promoting financial inclusions. All right, the introduction of payment systems like SPEI, all right, has made transferring money easier and faster than ever. All right, and that's always their goal, to make it sound convenient, you know. Oh, it's faster, you know, and that's how it's going to be with the RFID microchip. They're gonna make it sound real convenient so that you can take it. Oh, I'll take it. I'll get it in my hand or in my forehead or any part of my body. Oh, I ain't never gonna lose money. Okay. Oh, you always gonna know where I'm at. Oh, okay. You know, my medical records is gonna be on there. Oh, okay. I'll take it. You know, not knowing that's the mark of the beast, like a dumbass, man. Not hearkening to the prophets and the servants of the Lord, man. You know, you're gonna be done up out here if you take that MOTB, the RFID microchip. Revelation 14 and 9. You're gonna drown in fire and brimstone. And that nuclear destruction. All right, it says, yet obstacles remain, including limited internet access in some regions. All right, lack of financial knowledge among certain populations, and concerns regarding the use of technology. To address these challenges, collaborative efforts will be needed to ensure that the transformation is inclusive and benefits all citizens. All right, regardless of their socioeconomic status. A successful transition to a cashless economy in Mexico will not only improve transactional efficiency, but also promote financial inclusion and economic progress. You see? And try to make it sound good, right? It says Mexico's digital payment landscape is growing rapidly. All right? The digital payment market was valued at about 1.36 billion in 2023 and is expected to reach around 18.65 billion by 2035. Like I said, if we even make it that far, right? Because it's not looking like we got it ain't looking like we got 3 years here, 4 years here, bro. All right, this growth is largely, all right, driven by the rising e-commerce sector, with online sales increasing, all right, from about 7.74 billion in 2023 to more than 100 billion in 2024. All right, so you can continue to read this article for yourself. You know, I just want to bring out a little bit of information. All right, but I also want to get into this article. Matter of fact, let me see something real quick. All right, it says real-time payment systems like SPEI are a strong example of how quickly digital transactions are expanding, man. All right, they're conditioning the people. They're making it like that, man. All right, because they got digital everything now. They're putting digital ATMs or whatever. You know, it says on the other hand, trust is essential for promoting digital financial inclusions and accelerating the transition. All right. However, the transition to a cashless future in Mexico is closely tied to the dynamics of the informal economy. All right. So you see, man. All right. All right. So I got this other article here. Keir Starmer, all right, UK Prime Minister, all right. Citizens who reject digital ID must pay uh 85 pounds, all right, every time they're asked to prove identity. All right. It says UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has moved from assurances of voluntary digital ID to a regime of mandatory digital compliance. So it's now mandatory, bro. All right, it's now mandatory for digital ID in the UK. You're going to need digital ID in order to work in the UK. All right, has moved from assurances of voluntary digital ID to a regime of mandatory digital compliance. And the consequences for resisting may soon include crippling fees. You see? All right, earlier this year, the government announces controversial plans, all right, for a nationwide digital ID scheme. I did a video on it. All right. All right. I think I titled the video "Digital ID Now Mandatory." All right, in the UK, not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. All right. According to a press release, the digital ID will cut paperwork, save time, and ensure everyone can access the services they are entitled to. See, they make it sound convenient. All right. It says on the 23rd of October 2025, Starmer told the public, for people who simply don't want it, well, they don't need it. Apart from the right to work, all right, you're gonna need it if you want to work. It says, in other words, no obligation for everyday life, all right, unless you want to make money and participate in society. So you're gonna need that digital ID just so you can participate in regular everyday society. And that's how it's gonna be when the MOTB is brought forth, bro. The exact same thing. If you want to work or go to the grocery store, buy groceries, if you want a haircut, if you want to travel, you're gonna need that digital ID, that mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. If you want to buy things, new shoes, clothes, that's how it's gonna be. You're gonna be pushed forth, all right, out of civilization if you don't take that MOTB, the mark of the beast. But we don't give a damn. All right, the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, we don't give a damn. We're not going to take the mark of the beast anyway. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Ratazah, man. Lord willing. Yahweh willing. You know? We're already not part of this world. Just part of this society, man. So you give a damn if we're going to be pushed out of society for not taking the MOTB, the mark of the beast, man? The RFID microchip? You know, we're already not of this world. We don't give a damn if we you know, if now we can't buy. See, our faith is in the Lord, all right, and Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Ratazah, all right, we still have the faith during that time, you know. Let's keep reading. It says, because the true prophets and the servants of the Lord, they're gonna die. They're gonna say, "F it, man, cut my head off." You know, the scriptures say they love not their lives unto death. Right? It says it's frustrating having to rummage around in a drawer looking for an old electricity bill just to open a new bank account. All right, digital ID will make our lives easier. All right, you see, trying to make it sound convenient, man. All right, it says banks in the UK are legally required under AML and KYC rules to verify your identity and address. A utility bill must be recent, usually less than 3 months old. Wow. It says an old electricity bill will not be accepted by any major bank. All right. It says fast forward to September's announcement, and the message became even more authoritarian. All right. On 26 September 2025, the government declared that the digital ID scheme would be mandatory for the purpose of proving one's right to work. All right, in the UK, so you can't work without that digital ID. It's now mandatory. All right, you will not be able to work in the United Kingdom. All right, if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. All right. Meanwhile, Starmer insisted the digital ID will not be used to put Brits under surveillance, and it won't expand a social scoring system like the one used in China. All right, but critics see something very different looming. All right, the scheme will store names. The scheme will store names, dates of birth, nationality, residency status, and a photo on a smartphone-based wallet app. Yeah, all that information, bro. Complete control, right? All right. The question arises: if you opt out, what happens? Although no official fine, all right, has yet been publicly announced for refusing the digital for the ID, Starmer is now quietly admitting citizens who reject digital ID will have to pay £85 every time to prove their identity. All right. Yep. He says right here. All right. Meanwhile, Bill Gates and his foundation have been openly promoting digital public infrastructure with digital ID systems, all right, listed among the core components, all right. Gates writes, digital ID systems that see, all these people are pushing digital ID, man. All right, these billionaires, people that sit in high places, your prime ministers, all these different types of politicians, all right, because they're puppets for the elites to push forth their agenda to bring forth that MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. Digital ID systems that securely prove who you are the digital world's equivalent of roads, bridges, and power lines. In other words, the framework is already being laid globally, all right, because like the scriptures say, all right, Revelation 3 and 10, all right, so it shall come upon all the world to try them, right? It's a global thing. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, he causes all, right? It says the framework is already being laid globally, all right, and the UK scheme fits neatly into that model. Come on, man. All right, though the 85 pound fee has yet been officially confirmed as the price of refusing a mobile-based digital ID, Starmer is threatened, all right, that lack of compliance will be punished via financial penalties, all right, inclusion, all right, from services or extra bureaucratic costs, all right. We were mocked as conspiracy theorists for saying it, all right, but once again we've been proven right, all right. Bill Gates himself warned that without compliance with the global digital ID system, ordinary people would soon find themselves unable to work, travel, or even participate in society. That's how it's going to be when the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is brought forth, the RFID microchip. You see, everything is becoming digital. Everything is moving toward the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, man. All right, prophecy is moving. All right. So I'll leave it at that. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. All right. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Raptazad, this lesson is edifying. All right. So with that being said, call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakal Kudash. All right. On to the next one. Shalom. Shalom.